Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be talking about Moon being like the most important planet in your chart, whether it's ruling your 10th house or sitting in your 10th house or aspecting or conjunct with your 10th lord. So basically there is a video that I've done about careers as an introduction to all of these videos, and that they will explain much clearer about like what I'm trying to say. But generally speaking, there are so many things. I mean, nowadays when somebody comes to astrology and just says, you know, what sort of job I will do, it is so difficult because gone the days where you had a baker, a butcher, a greengrocer, blacksmith, a carpenter. Now it just seems as though you could be like an artist, but you still have to do your own marketing, you have to do your own graphics, you have to literally do your own blogs, vlogs. You know, there's just so many aspects to every job. Things have changed. We live in an era of Mercury and Rahu, and this is why I always, you know, do videos about afflicted third house, self-expression, getting your Mercury, you know, strong. And Rahu as well, because the thing is, we can't avoid Rahu things nowadays. Things are so different to how things were like 2 generations ago, or like when all this, you know, like astrology work, you know, Sanskrit and everything, all the Shastras were written. So everything's so different now. So we need to be more resilient. We need to be like, often people nowadays have more than one source of income. So resilience is the name of the game. So in order to stand out and be able to sort of contribute to your lifestyle, we need to be much more creative than ever before. So now, obviously, I'll put the link for that video because it goes through the things that I look at, like Ashtaka Varga. I look at planets in the 10th, Dasha Lords, D10. They're all kind of things that you need to look at. So once you've looked at all of those and you know that Moon has got the most say about your chart regarding your career, so you know that Moon rules Cancer. In German astrology, Cancer is about overseas. So you know that there's always going to be an exchange. So it's going to be like export, import. Those kind of things are going to be to do with the Moon. Moon is also overseas, so it's going abroad. So it's travel. Anything to do with travel also will be would be ruled by the Moon. And you also know that Moon is all about, it rules the 4th natural sign of the zodiac. So it's about nurture, it's about nourishment. So anything to do with those kind of industries will also be there. So let's just tap into the things that I'm talking about. So Moon rules, actually the nakshatra, which is right in the middle of Cancer, is Pushya, which is the udder of the cow. So, and this is the sign of the mother, Moon. Moon is the mother, it's the mind, and so you got to just think all those things could now be involved in my job. And it's also, Moon is communities, it's masses, it's people, masses. You know, your audience as well. So when Moon is obviously one of the very first things is all about travel. So the travel industry, whether it's by airplanes or cruises or yachts or any form, you know, any form of travel will be ruled by the Moon. So the whole of travel industry. Anything to do with sea, any marine kind of jobs, marine biology, marine animals, anything to do with the shores, any form of things like that will be all to do with like sea, even like sea rescue, for example, will be partially to do with Moon. Navy, anything like that will be like to do with the moon. It's jobs to do, the jobs that deal with liquids as well, because obviously it rules liquids. It's not just so water will be like a liquid, so water filtrations, water supplies, cleaning of water, all of those to do with the moon. It also will rule things to do with milk products, so cheese and butter, dairy, all that industry, that farming will all be, because it's all to do with nurture, so it will all be ruled by the moon. And obviously it's things to do with like nursing children, so nurseries, children's playgroups, all those kind of things that help mothers and all of that. Midwifery, health visitors who look after pregnant ladies, all of those, and also nursing as well. Generally speaking, nursing is looking after other people, so that will be also part of that too. And also things to do with agriculture as well, because also again it's food, it's nourishment, it's looking after other people. All of that will be part of this as well. And it will rule any form of hospitality as well, cafes and all of that as well. I know some of it moves over to Venus as well, but they actually it's where Moon is also exalted in Taurus. It's the food industry, restaurants, cafe, people who look after us in hospitality. All of that is all to do with the moon. So obviously looks after mothers, so family planning, groups that look after mothers after their children are born, babies are born, all of those supports. Also looks after the mind, so any form of job that psychologically and mentally helps people's mental health, mental well-being, and supports them through anything, that will also be part of that too. Also things like social services, things like when they look after individual little kiddies who like being abandoned, or refugees, things like that. Just like anything, any form of any company that looks after those kind of things. Hopefully not charities will rip people off, because you can't trust some of the big ones, but generally speaking, people who have got they want to look after the community, all of that kind of stuff. Also, in Jamin Astrology, Venus and the Moon, they're both teachers as well. So teaching, because it's education, family education, and looking after and helping people grow as individuals, physically and mentally. So all of that is also to do with the Moon. Moon is also fame. So anybody who has got even Moon is sitting with their 10th Lord or in their 10th house, so it will still kind of like give fame in that thing as well. And if it's like, for example, if it was connected to your 3rd house, you could be like an inspirational speaker, because you will appeal to the masses. You could be a singer or entertainer as well, because it's also a creative sign as well. All of those things that help us, make us feel good, nurture us, all of that is ruled by the moon. Okay, I found it was difficult finding people with having just the moon in their 10th house. So, but anyway, let's have a look at some. So the very first one we're going to look at is Salvador Dali, who is a very abstract, very creative, modern artist, and he was born in 1904, so way ahead of his time. Very abstract mind, and he is a Gemini ascendant, and Jupiter rules his 10th house, Pisces, because he is just literally completely different. He's very Pisces in his way of actually delivering his art form. Unbelievable. And his moon rules his 2nd house and is sitting in his 10th house with Jupiter. So we have a wonderful yoga there, where yoga for money and also for fame, because obviously he's just hugely respected around the world. you know, wonderful Spanish artist, and you see K2 there as well. So he's very, very different. You know, he brings all this unusual talent from previous life. And K2, by the sheer fact that it's sitting there with Jupiter as well, it gives the very spiritual, very out of the box kind of type of art anyway. So it's amazing. So there you go. The moon, what it does, it makes him appeal to the masses. Very unusual art form. So that's lovely. And his Saturn also aspects his 10th house as well. And so you can see that actually his 10th house has got really, really good Ashtaka Varga, 33. But 11th house gaining from that is only 25. So he obviously was quite, you know, Venus Sun gives you that. But you just want to spend money and have all the comforts of life. It's all about enjoyment. So that's Salvador Dali. We'll have a look at another one now. Right, next one we're going to look at is going to be one of the Gibbs brothers, Maurice, who's passed away sadly. And he is a Libra ascendant, and moon rules his 10th house. And it's in his 4th house in Uttarashada, the invincible one. Amazing. With Jupiter and Venus. So very, very creative. And from there, all those very wonderful creative planets all actually aspect his 10th house from his 4th house. So 4th house is also overseas, people, masses, and Capricorn as well, rules masses, so very strong there. And he's got Shravana. Shravana is fantastic nakshatra for rhythm. Lots of musicians have this as well, and having Venus there as well, very, very strong, fantastic. And also you can just see that moon also protects his 10th house as well by sheer fact that it rules it, aspecting it, gives it great success. I mean, the Gibbs brothers, they have given all of us so much fantastic music over the years, and written music for lots of other artists as well. Jupiter is also his third ruler, third house being writing songs, wonderful. And Venus rules his first house as well, so wonderful, you know, creative chart. And then the last one we're going to look at is Paloma Picasso, and she is a wonderful creative person who you know, very famous in her field, a designer as well as you know, like daughter to a famous Picasso family, again Spanish. So she has her own following, and has got you know, famous lines to do with you know, fashion design, her perfumes and everything as well, jewelry design, very famous. She's done things for Tiffany & Co as well. So yeah, and she's a daughter of Pablo Picasso, the famous, world famous artist as well. So what we can see here is in her chart that she is again another Libra ascendant, and moon, the 10th house ruler for her, is in the 4th house with Jupiter, creating a wonderful yoga there for her. Both of them Uttara Shada, so like this invincible, everlasting fame. And both planets also aspect the 10th house, blessing it as well. So that's another person. You can see that fame, huge fame, through this very creative ventures for her. Ruled by Venus as well, so she's Libra ascendant. And you can see that Venus is sitting with Mercury, Sun and Rahu, exalted Sun there in her 7th house. Really nice. Okay, so hopefully these give you some ideas about jobs, careers, and ruled by the moon. And I've just found some creative people, couldn't really find. I was trying to find Mother Teresa's details, but I couldn't find them. She would be the perfect person with the moon in the 10th house, but I haven't been able to find her details. Right, thank you, and I'll see you on the next videos. Thank you.